Okay, guys, welcome to a brand new episode of WrestleSlam. I'm joined with a team of Tim, Phil, Matt, Ger and Elizabeth. It's, counting down the days to WrestleMania, but we're going to go to that stuff next week. Fastlane is this Sunday. It's going to be a huge pay-per-view. A lot could happen in Fastlane. Some of the matches that we can expect, Big E versus Apollo Crews. Now, subject is always, cards always subject to change. We always know that, but obviously Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Can't wait for that. Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton. Nakamura, Seth Rollins, Riddle versus Ali, and Reigns obviously versus Daniel Bryan. Now, it's going to be a good pay-per-view. I don't know are we going to see any titles change, but I'm going to go to Elizabeth and Ger first. Any matches that you're looking forward to this coming Sunday at Fastlane, guys?
A few. I'm looking forward to seeing Apollo Crews and Big E. Apollo Crews, you can tell, I'm so glad that his roots are actually Nigerian, to be honest with you, because I was really, really worried where that was going. But the fact that it's true to life is brilliant, because you can tell he's really feeling it. He is all in 100% on this, and he's giving it everything, and even his promos have they've improved 150%. He's really, really feeling it, which is cool to see. It's tough to say whether Big E is going to drop the title or not. This is why I'm so looking forward to it, because Big E's only just back from injury. He's barely had a title run. Are they going to take it off him so quickly? Or are they going to do what they've done to Carmella, and she comes hot and straight for a title, and then all of a sudden we're wondering every week where she is? And with the work that Apollo is obviously putting into this new character, it would be a shame to see that happen. So I'm really, really intrigued to see where that's going to go for sure. So that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. That's probably my main one. No holds barred, Drew and Sheamus. Haven't we kind of seen that already a little bit? So I just think, as Matt was saying the last time, we need, and Ger as well, we're saying that we need a stop match there. We just need to kind of put it to bed. But I'm kind of, all right, okay, no holds barred, nothing too major. So yeah, Big E and Apollo for me.
Love it. Ger?
I'm looking forward to Reigns and Bryan, even though you're pretty sure Reigns is going to win it. I think it's going to be a great match, spectacle-wise. They've had matches like that before. In 2015, whenever Reigns won the Rumble, and they had the match with Daniel Bryan before WrestleMania at a pay-per-view, Fastlane, I think it was Fastlane as well, and they had a great match there as well, just to try and put Reigns over, getting into the match with Brock Lesnar. So I think it'll be a great match. I think Edge is going to do something in it. I think whether he stops Daniel Bryan winning it, so he wants to face Roman, he wants to be, there to get a bigger match. He probably thinks Roman's a bigger match than Daniel Bryan, but I'm scared for what they're going to do with Daniel Bryan after this, because I don't think they have a plan for him for WrestleMania, which is a shame, because he is on fire at the minute. He looks great. I know he said he's on his way out and he's maybe another year or so left in him. So he needs a big match at WrestleMania. So if he's not going to be in the title picture, I don't know what to do with him. But I'm looking forward to the match to see what happens.
When you said that there, you could have got me thinking about the whole Edge coming out. Is there any chance that he will do something to Reigns, and then we
100%. He has to, I think he will.
He's actually the enforcer in the match.
Yeah. Which means he can make the 3 count, not the referee. He can pin Daniel Bryan if he wanted to do a quick count just to get it over with if he wanted.
It's a separate feuding. Tim, do you reckon something could happen in this match as well? Obviously, the way Ger said it straight away, I was like, do you know what? I think there's going to be a little twist. Could we see Reigns drop the belt? Or do you reckon, because for a real wrestling fan, obviously Edge and Bryan, it's probably a better match on paper, but Reigns has really proved his worth these last couple of years and months.
I think that they're going to have Bryan lose but be screwed, and then he'll demand his way into the title match at WrestleMania and make it a triple threat. That way Reigns can keep the belt at WrestleMania, because I think he's keeping it till next year's WrestleMania to face The Rock, and Edge doesn't have to lose. Daniel Bryan doesn't mind losing matches, we all know. He still gets the main event, what will probably be his last WrestleMania, as he said last night, that the time is coming up. His contract is up at the end of the year. He doesn't plan on renewing. And if he was planning on wrestling again, he'd never mention the fact that it could be his last Mania. I think when he retires, he'll stay retired, but he's already had a taste at that, so he knows what it's like. So he'll be screwed, and he'll wrestle at WrestleMania. It'll make the match better. It'll be a triple threat, and we can get Edge to lose, but without being pinned, so he's not going weak. And Reigns still wins, obviously, because he's the best thing in wrestling at the moment.
Yeah. Bill, what's your take? Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going around. No, I really do like Ger's theory. I think it's spot on. Are we able to see some madness on there?
I think he's right. Ger's right. My worry is that Edge didn't look good on SmackDown. He didn't look good at all. He looked just off. I suppose he has been out of the ring for years, but if that's going to be the
winded or something, wasn't it? Yeah, he kind of looked like almost a bit winded. Yeah.
Yeah, he just didn't look right. He looked off.
Yeah, Jay carried that match.
I could definitely see a triple threat match because Daniel Bryan is too good to leave off WrestleMania in a big match.
Yeah. Matt, what you reckon, bro?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Phil. When I saw Edge's match on SmackDown, I was delighted to see him on SmackDown. I was delighted to see him competing, but I think all of us was kind of on edge because, oh Christ, pun. But anyway, we were kind of like iffy with how the way he's like wrestling, how the way he was like moving. But I think he's already came this far to go to WrestleMania, winning the Royal Rumble. So I can see him still facing Roman Reigns. I love Daniel Bryan. I really don't want. I agree with and not having Daniel Bryan like for WrestleMania, but I can still see Roman Reigns coming far with having a good title reign because like what Jimmy said, he's the best thing in wrestling at the moment with his gimmick. So I still am seeing Roman Reigns versus Edge. If they're going to make it a triple threat match with Daniel Bryan, great, because I'll personally be delighted to see that they will be using Daniel Bryan for something. But at the moment, I'm going to pull with Roman Reigns, and I still see Edge coming this far as well. So
yeah, I love it. Now, we're going to have to switch to Orton and Alexa Bliss. Surely the Fiend is back, lads. Surely this is when it all happens. Now, does he come back the same? Does he come back different? Does he come back looking different?
I just want to say one thing there before you move on, because Tim sent me a very weird message today about the match with Orton at WrestleMania.
Yeah, rumor has it that WrestleMania, Randy Orton and The Fiend will be in an exploding death match. I hope to God they do it and they show AEW how to make an explosion, because I will laugh.
Jokes, Tim. Too early for jokes.
But this is on the internet. This is all over Twitter. It is rumored.
Was it on Twitter, yeah?
No, all over the dirt.
Yeah, so fingers crossed.
So
I can imagine
Randy Orton goes up to the battleship with a big cannon, shoots it into the ring, and blows up the Fiend. Like,
imagine.
Would have passed him.
That's an explosion. That's what you do.
But no, he has to, but in general, though, he has to come back darker.
Yes, he will be darker. They've gone a bit darker on Raw. You even seen Drew swearing and stuff, which is not stuff we've seen in a long time. So they're pushing the edges, so they'll get away with bringing him in dark.
Yeah. Ger Elizabeth, what's your take on the Fiend? Obviously, you reckon he might be back as well. Obviously, the whole Alexa Bliss thing is she's been really cool in this new kind of phase character. But do you think it's a big turning point here at Fastlane with the Fiend coming back, perhaps?
For sure. I think so, and it would hopefully set them up then for a good match at Mania. But we had a good chat about this yesterday, and you had a really, really good theory about the Fiend pulling a Mick Foley on it.
Oh yeah,
This is brilliant.
There was rumors of a 3 stages of hell match between them at WrestleMania, where one match he comes out as old school Bray Wyatt, he comes out as second match he comes out wearing the jumper, and the third match he comes out as the Dark Fiend. Like, so 3 different stages of the Fiend hell match, something like that.
I'm here for that, though.
I like that idea, the Fiend hell match.
Yeah, that's actually nice. That's nice. I think WWE should pay us, they should pay you royalties for that idea, because they might steal it if they see the show.
They don't even take ideas off their own talent. They're not going to take them off me.
Never know. I think they should.
I might get called out, but do you think if that will happen, do you think we're going to end up seeing Bray Wyatt when he was back on NXT as Husky Harris, just for old times?
Sweet God, no.
Imagine if they done something like that, what they done with John Cena and all his different variations of his character, when they had done his match with him, the Firefly last year, would be phenomenal if he came out as Husky Harris. Could you imagine? And like the evolution of him over the years. Brilliant.
That would be savage.
Yeah.
Unreal.
they need to get Rhodes come on board because he was like his pro at the time. So that should be no bother.
No bother.
What did he call himself? He was the Rhino with the Ferrari engine or something when he was Husky Harris or something like that.
No, I tell you, that's a good idea. Now, we see, lads, obviously, we're going to touch base quickly on this because it's trending. Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil are to host WrestleMania.
Why is Bailey the host? Seriously. Ding dong hello. Seriously.
Oh,
Bailey.
Billy Kay!
We're putting Hogan out there with a man who does not want to be out there with Hogan.
Yeah, exactly.
Tone deaf, like, read the room.
Titus O'Neil only tweeted earlier, he liked tweets that were about Hogan being a racist.
Yeah.
Tim says,
I love Hogan. I can't wait to see him.
But it comes out of nowhere as well. It makes no sense.
No, not a bit. Not a bit. And considering, like, the card has a lot of talent on it that would not be very happy about Hulk Hogan hosting it. Yeah. It's like, read the fucking room. It's like, no, we'll just ram him down your throat until you accept him. And it's like, no, like that ship has sailed. You know, it's just let him bow out disgracefully. You know.
I think he's going to.
You heard it here first. Hulk Hogan will become 24/7 champion at WrestleMania.
I love it.
He'll get booed. He'll get booed the minute he walks out. His music will start. He'll start talking. They'll start booing him out of the building.
Out the Silver Dome.
Out the Silver Dome.
But like, yeah, I'm liking, like, Joe. What's your take on it? Because obviously, look, it's got a lot of people talking. Vince is Vince. You know, you either love Vince or you hate him. But like, do you think it's a bit controversial, or do you think it's the case of, look, Hogan and Titus O'Neil's a great guy? To see how it goes.
I think Vince is panicking because he doesn't have Taker or Brock or his usual, big draws for Mania matches. Yeah. So he needs somebody to come out, and Hogan lives around the corner from the stadium, so he's easy to get, and he's going to come in, and Hogan will do anything for money. So that was just a panic thing. Just get him in to get people in the seats, even though it was going to sell out anyway. Like.
Yeah. No, it's look. At least we're going to see spectators. 2 days. It's the ultimate weekend for all wrestling fans. Now, what's your take on the network going to Peacock? Clearly, I don't understand it. I know it's all like it's a whole American.
It's like moving to the Netflix. It's basically the same as moving to Netflix.
Yeah.
No, it's a scam. They're charging people to go ad free. You have to pay a premium to get rid of commercial breaks during the matches. Yeah. So, like, you're paying $4.99, then you have to upgrade to get rid of the ads through all the matches. So, pure scam.
Yeah.
And half the content's not there.
Yeah, that's the issue as well, that half the content's missing.
Yeah. We still have all of it, but they won't.
Yeah. It's mad.
Well, it's not a matter of time for happens here, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot harder to do in Europe because you'd have to get a streaming service that's running throughout the whole of Europe, and there's not many at the moment. Like, if you're putting it on BT's only in England.
Amazon.
Yeah, maybe Amazon.
And even get half the stuff on Amazon then.
Definitely. No, well, I have to go to the next, lads. Obviously, this is a big one for the show. Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. It's and the feedback has been incredible. The feedback has been incredible. Now, Phil, I know you're a big Bischoff fan. Yeah. I know that we met him. What's your take on it?
I think he's the only man to ever beat Vince at his game. He's like, it's hard to explain, but he's definitely stands on his own above most promoters. 100% deserves to be in there.
Yeah.
Like, he should have went in with the NWO because that's what he created and that's what he was. But the fact he's going in on his own, at least he's going in.
Going in the same night as the NWO.
Yeah. And also as well, he's going in. He got inducted 20 years to the day of the last WCW pay-per-view.
Yeah. No, it's a good call. Look, I looked at all the feedback. You know, the way you're looking at all the reactions. All love here. It's all, you know what I mean? The man deserves it.
I would say one more thing, though. He's a changed man because he was not pleasant in the 90s.
Well, he always looked pleasant.
No, but, like, he was a real mean man. Like, he was not good to be around.
Ruthless. You have to be ruthless in business. Look at Vince.
But, like, ever since he's done 83 weeks, he's so mellowed out, and it's just, I don't know if you listen to it, but it's one of the best wrestling podcasts around.
He's probably smoking the hash as well, though.
Maybe.
That helps. The CBDIs and all that kind of stuff help as well. Ger Elizabeth, what's your take? Obviously, Bischoff, iconic in the WCW days. You know, he's created so many superstars in WCW over the years. But look, do you think it's a good call to have Bischoff in the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely. Wrestling wouldn't be where it was during the Attitude Era if it wasn't for him. Like,
yeah,
WWE wouldn't have reacted to the NWO. The Attitude Era might not even have happened if that didn't happen. And he brought in WWF stars at the time, like under Vince's nose. Like the next day, like what he did with Luger or Medusa, like bringing the women's title with her and dropping it in the trash can, like, you know, pure iconic moments that he wanted to happen. He came up with that. You bring a trash
brainchild,
yeah. Recruit on the same night.
Yeah.
And Nitro the same night.
Yeah.
Mental.
The only thing that he should have done is he should have left DX's tank into the arena.
Yes.
Yeah.
And shut the door behind it, say we're keeping it.
WCW would have won if they brought DX live onto their televisions.
Yeah,
exactly.
Matt, what's your take? Bischoff, obviously Hall of Fame, well deserved. I wasn't shocked when I seen it, but obviously I had to double check because you know there's so many people out there making the old fake graphics and stuff, and we're like, well, is that legit? Because normally Virgil Hall of Fame pops up.
Every year.
You know, but happy enough for it, Matt?
Yeah, I feel like this is like the new meme these days of like random introductions to the Hall of Fame. But I'm going to sound a bit dramatic by saying that Eric Bischoff was, and to me still is, WCW. All these great events like the NWO, everything, even the Monday Night Wars, he played a huge role in. So all these iconic moments wouldn't happen without the brains of Eric Bischoff. And of course, like what Philly said, he's pretty much the only man in the business that actually can run against Vince McMahon. So not just in like WWE, but also in wrestling in general. And because WWE acknowledges other wrestling platforms and knows the wrestling fans and know the wrestling history, it'll be definitely something to see him in the Hall of Fame, at least. I know a lot of talks because he just came out of AEW, but he still made these moments in wrestling in WCW. So I'm all for it.
Definitely mellowed out because, like, if you listen to the podcast, he actually says he doesn't want to come back for a big pop, and people get sick of him after 3 weeks.
Yeah,
exactly.
If he comes back, like, what's he coming back for? You know, there's no story there.
Yeah. Well, no, look, I think it's a great call, and you know, I'm happy to see it. No, I'll be lucky enough to have Bischoff on with me, and that's something I want to do moving forward. Hopefully, we'll have Bischoff on with us before Hall of Fame. We can all have a chat with him. 316 day, Joe. I'm going to go to you. Stone Cold Steve Austin. 316 day. We've seen the great LeBron James, all these people, all these iconic stars celebrate 316 day. Austin obviously is an iconic man when it comes to our childhoods and growing up. What's your favourite Austin moment? Now, there's probably a million, but anything that stands out to you for Austin being, you know, the badass he was?
So many, but I'd say his first time he stunned Vince.
Oh, yeah.
The very first time. That's probably the most standout thing because it changed everything.
Everyone felt it.
He hit the boss, even though officially back then, like, everybody didn't know exactly who Vince was. He was a commentator. Not everybody knew he was the boss. Like, he owned the company. He was just on commentary. So when they hit him and the place went nuts, and everybody's like, he had a commentator. But then when people started rolling out that he was actually the owner, and he kept doing it every week, then it just became a thing that transcended the Attitude Era. So I think that has to be the most iconic thing he's ever done. If he never did it, you know, where would he be?
I know, and Elizabeth, like, the chemistry was incredible on screen. Like Austin and Vince, it was like a bromance for so many years. Like, obviously, it was great watching them days. Even when Austin used to attack him on the hospital bed, when Vince got roided up and came out in the Royal Rumble and looked like an Arnold Schwarzenegger, but, like, you know, they were iconic moments.
Yeah.
Totally, there were. I mean, that was one of the best when he came out, and he was just God help us. It was like a cartoon version of himself, you know. And it was just brilliant. I loved him when he soaked a lot of them in beer. That was another favorite of mine as well. Again, it's just, you know, it's everybody who's in a shitty job who wants to get one over on their boss. Everybody who's in that situation rooted for him massively. Another really good one as well. I was watching Birth of the Stunner on the network, and it was when It was kind of involving Stone Cold, but it was Xavier Woods when he stunned him at Mania after they were doing this dancing, you know, and they stunned him afterwards. And he was like, it's a good chance I'm the last person that he is going to give a stunner to at WrestleMania. He was like, I have that for life. You know, he's like, that is mine for life. I'm the last one. And I was like, God, that's actually really sweet. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, they were iconic. Tim, I was there. I was right behind you when you went in to meet him in New Orleans. Austin's the man. Obviously, it was really cool. I think the kind of like the Royal Rumble '97 was where he kind of really kicked on. But what's your take on 316 Day and Austin himself?
Obviously, we met him in New Orleans. And it was brilliant. Like he's larger than life. He doesn't do these kind of meetings very often. I think he's only done like 3 ever. So it was great to actually get to meet him. But the best one, I think, is when he started saying Austin 316 as I just whooped your ass to Jake the Snake, using Jake's religious character against him. Yeah. Like before that, we had the ringmaster and all that, but if he stayed as the ringmaster, he'd have never been the star that he is today.
Yeah.
So obviously him coming out and winning the King of the Ring, that was it.
Yeah. Phil?
Yeah, I actually have 2 things about it, because he's actually one of the first guys to kind of invent the kind of massive pops. January 4th, 1999, when Mick Foley beat The Rock, the pop on that is unbelievable when his music hits. It's probably the loudest I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And also there was a Raw, I think it was the one before Invasion.
Oh, yeah.
Where there's like, he's down in his dumps in a pub and he kind of comes back to the arena and he starts taking all the alliance out.
Yeah.
But when he gets to the ring again, the pop is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I don't know if you remember that one.
I do, yeah. It always trends on YouTube and it pops up on Facebook where he annihilates half the ring, yeah.
Yeah, he takes everybody. The only thing is he turns heel on the pay-per-view, but like, yeah.
Iconic. Matt, what's your take? 316 Day. Give me a hell yeah.
I think my favorite on the spot, hell yeah. Anyway, so I kind of got 2 of my favorite Austin moments. I think probably my favorite match of Austin has to be probably WrestleMania 14. I think it was him versus The Rock, the first time he became WWF champion at the time, because, you know, this is the fella who started off being the ringmaster and then becoming the star, and this is like the first world title run he got. So this is like to prove that he's here to stay. He's going to prove something with this title. And of course, his run against Vince McMahon. But if I'm going to go a bit personal, actually, probably when I was about 13, my mom and dad took me to a SmackDown event in Belfast. And the main event was Kurt Angle and Stone Cold was the referee. And I had a chance to go near the front, and when John Cena won, because he was the champion at the time, Austin was like flipping everyone off. He was like tossing beer cans and all that around the place. And my dad was there with me, and he saw me standing up on the chair, just actually like doing the straight up middle finger to the air while holding up. And he was looking at me saying, "Jesus, this is my son, not about wrestling." So I think that moment I got to see Austin like in person was probably my personal moment, probably. So definitely hell yeah for that one.
Love it. Raw and SmackDown, lads, obviously busy as always leading up to Fastlane. We've seen Reigns pretty much had the last laugh on SmackDown last night. A lot of stuff happening. Phil, what's your take on SmackDown this week?
Not bad. I didn't like Edge's match, but there was a really, really funny part. I don't know if you see it with Corbin and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I seen it in the highlights, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliantly done. I just hopefully they're not building to a Corbin, Owens and Sami match at WrestleMania.
Oh.
I'd say Owens
and Sami is what we want.
Owens and Sami is enough. It'll be phenomenal.
Yeah. George, do you reckon Owens could be out the gap soon? Because obviously we're seeing as there's talk he's not happy. Owens is Owens, but you think Owens could head off in when the contract's done?
I don't know. I know he's been misused. They're not giving him, his full potential. He's never lived up to what he should have been like. But I don't know where he would fit in anywhere else. Like really, like because he's on the biggest stage. So I don't see him fitting in an AEW at the minute. Not the way they have. They have too many people on their books at the minute.
Yeah,
similar to him as well.
I think he's just a showman. He's great. He he would just wants to be at the pay-per-view. He just wants to be having matches every week. He just loves wrestling.
Do you think he's happy there? Do you think he's actually happy, or do you think it's just a case? You know, we hear stories backstage sometimes that he's not happy. Do you reckon it's all bull, or do you reckon he's not happy?
It's like any job, really. Like, you know, you stay for the money.
Like, the only thing is he removed WWE off his Twitter.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
He's doing that to get people talking as well. He's known for doing things like this.
Yeah. No, it's I don't know. It's interesting to see. In regards to SmackDown, lads, there wasn't that much that really happened. Obviously, we've seen the Bryan and Reigns face off. King Corbin has been King Corbin. I think he's the greatest thing ever. Sami Zayn is still lost. No one knows what's going on with Sami Zayn at all. Obviously, we've seen Apollo Crews and Big E having a bit of a tussle. Bianca Belair, obviously that match ended in no contest. Edge defeated Jey Uso. So obviously he is a special enforcer. Interesting. That could be a turning point this Sunday. Phil, what's the story with Raw? What happened on Raw? I missed
the AJ Styles thing. I got really mad at it at the time, but I've had more time to think about it now. I think he's going to be a Grand Slam champion. I think they're going to win.
I'm still mad. You're going to have to convince me on this because I was fuming when I heard it.
I think it came out of nowhere. Like I was talking to Tim and I said they're going to lose here. The Hurt Business.
Yeah.
You were right.
Yeah.
I'd say AJ is at the pulling for it because it's the only belt he's never won.
Yeah.
And it's the only time he's been teamed with somebody that you could legitimately say they can win this match easily. And like AJ has himself said that he doesn't have long left in the tank, that he's going to retiring early. He wants to retire young, grow up with his kids. Yeah. So maybe he just wants to win this belt before he packs it in 2 years' time when his deal is up.
I know a lot of people want to.
You were fuming. I heard you say you were fuming about the whole thing. What's your take on it?
I swear to Christ, after I saw Raw Tuesday, I was like, I am going to launch my shoe through the window. I was so annoyed at it. From Braun Strowman and Shane.
Yeah, that
was brilliant.
What in the name of Jesus was that? I just disgusted Shane, piss off. And then it was like, we went to this tag team thing, and I was like, are they actually pulling my leg? They've taken the gold off the Hurt Business. Bobby's barely won the title, and they've taken the gold off him. Could you imagine all of them at WrestleMania with all of the pyro and the sparks, and they all have the gold looking like absolute champs in their suits?
Yeah.
And we give it to the New Day, which, like for, same story. And then, like we're going to go to AJ Styles and Omos, who hasn't spoken 2 words. And I'm just like,
he's never had a match.
Is he on something? Or I know it's like, I can see with the AJ being Grand Slam and all that kind of caper, like, but if they win, and like, what does that mean then for the tag? He gets his Grand Slam, but then it's just like they literally do not give one flying bird for the tag team division on Raw, and it just vexes me so much.
Also, just one thing as well. They just
I need a minute.
They just announced today that Rhea's coming this Monday.
He is. Yeah, and Charlotte's off all of the publications. She's not any of the promo. She's gone. Yeah. So I'm thinking is it Asuka and Rhea Ripley, and she's just like trying to sort Andrade shit out.
Yeah, interesting. Quickly gonna touch base on AEW. Phil, you're always keeping a close eye on that.
Well, I thought the women's match between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa was the best women's match on TV since Bayley and Banks.
It's the highest rated women's match ever, according to Twitter now. Meltzer gave it 4 3/4 stars.
But there was stuff in it that was so dangerous that they shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
I would say that. There was one spot where I thought she literally broke her neck, like on the ladder.
Yeah, I saw the match actually just last night, and I kind of agree with Phil. It was so dangerous, but it's so good to see that AEW is doing something really this well with the women's division now, kind of like stepping it up. And again, I don't think we would see like a lights out match that brutal again. So these 2 female wrestlers actually did make history in that one AEW episode. So I thought it was good, great.
Yeah.
It had more of an impact on the women's division AEW than Kenny Omega bringing on all these Joshi Strong style women.
Right.
Their match had a bigger impact on the division. There was no need for any of his girls to come in at all. I don't believe there was. It made a much bigger impression for me personally.
Yeah,
One thing, though, we have the
Yeah, Brandy Rose is on a mission, though, I think ever since day one, to make sure the women stand out, you know what I mean? And AEW seems to be that platform. I think if shit does hit the fan with WWE in the next couple of years, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the likes of Sasha Banks and all these people go to AEW for women's wrestling, because I mean, the whole platform is really standing out there for the ladies. And
I know we have like 2 minutes left. I just want to say, if anyone's not seen the MGF promo, needs to watch it.
Yeah, so good.
the best.
Yeah.
Great name as well, Pinnacle, because they're calling themselves the top of the mountain.
I loved when they got out of the plane and then got into them without that stuff was evolution-esque.
oh yeah, it's a fancy word.
Yeah.
Love it.
MJF was wasted for months, and finally now he's kind of got his chance to shine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, we know how good he is. We know how good he is. He's the man. The future. So, lads, this show is going to air on the 21st of March. It's prior to Fastlane. We're looking forward to Fastlane. To everyone tuning in across the world via our YouTube channel and the Facebook page, thank you for tuning in. We will be going Patreon quite soon. We're just looking to finalise the final details and make sure we know what we're doing, to be honest, because Patreon's Patreon. It sounds easy, but it's probably hard. Then again, Ger Elizabeth, Tim, Phil and Matt, thank you very much for joining me as always. WrestleMania kicks off. Well, our pre-WrestleMania shows kick off next week. So it's all WrestleMania talk. It's the fun begins. Have a safe weekend, guys. Enjoy NWA. Enjoy Fastlane. And we'll catch you all soon, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
You guys.